We're also excited about going to Germany and Prague. There's so many things to look forward to. I visited the Odenwaldschule, which is in Heppenheim, Germany, 20 years ago, and I was invited to direct the play in German. Now, my German's pretty bad, but I tried, and I worked with it with a teacher there named Steve, and we worked very hard together. We created a play in German that was going to be performed in Berlin a few months later. So I went home and came back with my stepdaughter Jacqueline to see it in Berlin. Very proud moment. So this school has meant a lot to me. The other thing the school has done, Dirk Hoflich, who's the tech director there, teacher, created the set 20 years ago to take the play to Auschwitz. And Alan, my husband, always reminds me, yeah, that was a 17-hour bus ride with the students of the Odenwaldschule to Auschwitz. How many songs can you sing on a bus ride to Auschwitz in German and or English? And the kids did. Oh my God, it was 17 long hours from Germany to Auschwitz, Poland. This school has deep memories, holds deep memories. And the other thing they did two incredible things. Besides bringing the play to Berlin, they also brought myself and this other group of Americans and Germans to Buchenwald, which is my father's concentration camp. My father was a cook there. And they came, and the school came with me. And I remember a particular student named Tor Lindhart. And I remember his following us around. And the person who he was following was myself and Natalie Fasselt. Natalie's family had been in the tile business, and she was very suspicious about the tile we were looking at in the gas chamber at Buchenwald. And it was an intense morning of walking around, and she and I were connecting in a very deep and profound way, and it wasn't always easy to talk, but we were working on it. Her being the child of the Reich and my being a child of survivors. At any rate, this Tor Lindhart, who was a student then, about 16, 17, said, you know, someday I want to do something creative like a play or a film about this, and I feel like I have to say something about defiance, about the brave ones, about the ones who tried to hide Jews, who tried to save people. I need to find that story, and I will, and I'll make it. So 18 years later, I hear that he has made this film as an actor called Flame and Citron. It is extraordinary, and it's exactly about that. So that was one of the amazing things that came out of meeting him. Became a wonderful film actor, and he did make the film about resistance to the Nazis in Denmark. That was very cool. That's another thing that happened at that school. So we're going back. We're going to see Dirk again, and Uta Forstadt, who has helped organize this whole thing, a former teacher there, and Steve, the director. All these people, former actors, are coming from 20 years ago. I'm very psyched to have them meet our Newburyport students who've worked so hard to get ready for this trip. We've been rehearsing for 5 weeks, and we just performed Sunday, 2 days ago, 2 shows. Everyone's very wiped out, but feeling satisfied because they were strong, right on their mark. Everyone hit their notes. They got their lines and blocking and intentions, and they were cohesive. They were a real ensemble. I was so proud of all of them. Some of them, their first performance. Some of them, like Emily, was her 4th year with the show. So it's very satisfying. And I could feel how moved the audience was. You know when the show is over, when you hear people blowing their nose, that they've been moved, that they are not feeling the same way they felt when they walked into that theater. Kids asked great questions. Adults asked great questions of the actors after the show. And the actors had to think about why they do it, what they're here to say, how they've researched and prepared, and what their goals are for this play when it tours Germany. What the kids are very excited about is going to Prague first. I'm excited about that too. It's my favorite city in the world, next to Southampton, New Hampshire. It's gorgeous. There's a beautiful river that runs through it, and a bridge where all the artists congregate and do their work. And the old city and the Jewish temple that's 400 years old, and the cemetery that's even older than that, and the Jewish cemetery. And the most important aspect of Prague is several miles outside of Prague is Terezin, the camp that I write about. And we're all going to go there on Monday the 17th. Very anxious about it. It's a mixed bag of very powerful emotions. I've been there twice. And the source of the story of Terezin, children of the Holocaust. Even more interesting, the day before, we're going to meet Helga Hošková, who was the artist as a child who drew the pictures that I saw in the late 60s, early 70s, that became the inspiration for this play, besides the story of my family. Her drawings were remarkable as a 10-year-old, and she hid them, and that was something I wanted to create. The hope, the empowerment, the survival, the resistance of the power of art from a child's point of view. So her work's at the Holocaust Museum at museum in Prague, Terezin Museum, Yad Vashem in Jerusalem. It's everywhere. And she's a painter today in her 80s, and she's going to meet with us, tell us why she did what she did, how she survived the war, what happened to her family, and about her art. We'll look at it and we'll talk about it. That, I feel, will be very inspiring for our kids, for the actors, and for what they're about to do when they perform in Germany for this German school. And I think the very last thing I want to say is what our intention is about being in Germany. There's a question always asked of me sometimes about the possibility of reconciliation. I don't mean total forgiveness, because you can't forget what happened. But is there a possibility for a dialogue between the children of Nazis, the children of the Reich, who are second generation like myself, and the children of Holocaust survivors? Is there a possibility of a dialogue? With what end? And that is my hope. My relationship with Natalie, the woman I spoke of earlier, Natalie Fassold, very important to me. And her relationship with me is equally important. And it's amazing how good friends we became after meeting 20 years ago. So I find it personally very remarkable that I found my own healing in Germany, where I was born, near Munich. My parents always said, "You'll never go back there. We'll never go back there." My mother called it the bloody soil. And with all the stories I was told as a child about what happened to them in Auschwitz and Buchenwald and several other camps, it is amazing that I've gone back there. When I think about it, it's amazing. And that being with Germans and hearing their dilemma of the inheritance, the sins of the fathers upon the sons, as it were, is something that piques my curiosity. And I am curious about what responsibility Germans today feel about the Holocaust. I know what they do about it, that they have Holocaust museums, and that they have in every town, here's where so-and-so lived, and the plaque is in front of someone else's house. And here's the cemetery that was here for several hundred years. And I know I'm meeting a person in Germany who's the grandfather of one of our actors who takes care of the cemetery because there are no survivors and no descendants of these people who are lost, killed. And so these cemeteries are being preserved, and what the synagogue in Berlin is preserved and rebuilt, and the kids go to concentration camps as field trips. They study the Holocaust. That's remarkable for me, taking responsibility for those initial, original sins. So This is loaded. It's challenging. I've done this before. I've been to Germany a few times, but each time I go, it kind of catches my breath. I anticipate with great excitement and very strong energy of what is about to happen, and everything that happens for me in Germany is powerful, profound, and life-changing.